Hello and welcome to the 10th Omnia Podcast. I'm going to be your host this evening / afternoon. I don't know where everyone else is in the world. I need to... There we go. Before I let our guests introduce ourselves, I wanted to do a little bit of a clan update since the last podcast that we held in January. First off, I want to congratulate Sens on getting 200 mil all and achieving rank 4. Big grats to you. And then also I want to congratulate Karma, obviously, on getting 200 mil all recently and getting rank 6. And since the last podcast, we've also, in the last podcast, we had Harry step down, and in this podcast, wanted to give a little update. If anyone was unaware, living under a rock, that Karma decided to step down, and just wanted to say that appreciate everything that you've done for the clan, Karma, and I hope that you'll stick around with your RS3 bullshit. That does that. I'm Kudos, RSN 99, General in Omnia, and currently I'm going for a 200 mil Slayer.
I'm Jay. I'm a 2-banana random in Omnia. Currently going for 200 mil fishing. That's all about me.
I'm Rob, RSN 18, playing the game for fun.
I'm Smangle. I'm a 2-nana in Omnia, and I'm currently sort of going for Treasure Hunter, but maybe some mining, we'll see.
I'm the Serial, and I'm playing the game.
For
I'm
fun.
Iger. I'm a 2-banana in Omnia, and I'm also playing the game for fun.
Nice.
Enjoyable hours played here.
Retweet.
I don't know about that. The first question, I guess we should get this out of the way. How has coronavirus changed how you play the game, if at all? And if it has, are you enjoying the game more or less than before?
So it has changed. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, hasn't really changed much except I'm doing less Slayer because it's fucking absolute cancer right now, trying to battle everyone for spots and everything.
Yep, retweet.
And you're a free world, so
Yeah, and I'm a free world.
School has definitely gotten a lot easier. Like, I did a 115 for fantasy during school, which would have not been possible had I actually had to go to school or actually do things. So it's definitely gotten a lot easier for me. A lot more gaming.
Yeah, it's the same for me. So I can play a lot more. But I enjoy it less, I think, because I never have this feeling of, oh, I can go home and play because I can always just log in. If that makes sense.
I was a
graduated. Oh, do you want to go Michael or?
yeah. I was a Corona Neat for like 2 weeks, and I don't know. Free time doesn't feel as valuable when all of your time is free time. So during that 2 weeks, I definitely, I don't know. I played more, but I maybe didn't enjoy it quite as much. But I'm back to work now. So
Less enjoyable hours gamed.
yeah, I was losing that EHP.
Yeah, unlimited free time. It sounds like something that everybody wants, especially in the game like RuneScape where it requires a lot of time. But whenever it's this unlimited, it's a little not so enjoyable. So
Yeah.
I think I'm enjoying the game a little less
Hmm.
when it's like this.
I agree with Myers. Like, school's been a fucking joke, and I've just been sleeping more, I guess. Not really enjoying the game more or less.
I mean, it's kind of weird with fantasy going on for the people who are in fantasy, because now it's like I have to play the game, and so when you're in that mode, you definitely enjoy the game less, but you're able to play more. So I don't know. It might be different if there was no fantasy going on, at least for some people.
For sure. Next question. How has the Chinese virus affected your IRL situation? For me, do you want to go?
Dude, I really need to stop doing that. Nah, you can go.
Okay, I was
You're
just
the
going to
big
say
host.
nothing has changed for me. I'm still working the same, still have my job, and I'm still doing my schoolwork, so I've been lucky to not really be impacted that much.
Well, my housemate had a common cold, but he was being a massive hypochondriac about it. So we were like, "Shit, we all better not leave the house for 2 weeks." But he turned out to be fine. So that's how it affected my IRL. But other than that, there's more parking at uni. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, a lot of my friends have graduated college already, so I'm not really going out and doing much this semester, since it's my last semester before I graduate. But school getting easier is a lot nicer because I've been super burnt in school, but definitely not super affected by it though.
Are they not going to have a graduation ceremony then?
I
like
I heard
online
talks of them doing one online or something, but I'm not. Maybe I'll just stream in cap and gown and call it graduation ceremony.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they mail you a cap and gown?
I have my friend that I was planning on using because I was too lazy to go get one.
Also, they're not cheap. It's stupid. You have to rent one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
I don't know how the whole thing's going down, but I don't care.
I graduated just before all the coronavirus stuff happened, so I haven't been able to look for like a real job or anything. Which, you know, is good and bad because it's like it's a break from school, but I don't know, I'm getting a bit bored of it now. Like, I want to go out and do stuff.
I
No.
dislike that I can't really go out for food anymore because obviously restaurants and everything is closed. So that's always fun, but yeah.
But I'm definitely feeling thankful that and I'm sure all you guys are too, one of those personality types that is more accustomed to sitting inside for long periods of time or like filling their free time well. Because some of my normie IRL friends are really struggling with having a whole lot of free time and being stuck in their house, and like they just don't have hobbies they can fill their time with that are in the house and take up a lot of time. So
Yeah,
being
I
a
suppose
RuneScape need is actually pretty good, even
Yeah.
though sometimes playing the game a lot sucks.
having
Yeah.
RuneScape and having like an
That's a
infinite
good point.
amount of time to fill. Like, you can be 14k app and be like, well, I'm still covered for like this entire virus kind of thing.
For sure.
And even if you're kind of burnt on the game, it's still better than not having the game at all. Because if you otherwise you'd just be
Yeah, like-
sitting in bed watching YouTube or
Exactly.
I don't know, casually playing some game for a couple hours until you burn out of that. I don't.
Like Warzone virus.
Yep.
Class, I remember. Yeah.
Are you
virus
still
and
playing that shit?
Warzone prod.
Yeah. At this point, I'm only playing with my IRL friends because it's like a good way to catch up with them. And
Yeah,
then
that's cool.
When they're not on, I'm playing the medieval children's game, but
Yep.
I've actually
Warzone.
been like connecting with people more with the whole, and you hear it from a lot of people, but I've been connecting with people more that I haven't really talked to in a while because they're have a ton of free time and like are reaching out.
Yeah, I guess that's like a one positive, I guess, you could take from it.
Yeah, I find that has happened for me as well. Like, all of my real life friends, they all play League of Legends, and we've been playing together quite a lot, so I haven't been on RuneScape as much. And I don't know, it's really cool to talk to them again. I just hope it continues after all this stuff's over.
Yeah, it's
For
like now
sure.
you have no excuse not to game with me.
Yeah, now you're stuck with me. Let's go.
And then the last question about the coronavirus I want to touch on is what is the single most depressing part of this for you personally so far?
That's an interesting question.
Probably, maybe it spotlights the general public's attitude towards this kind of thing. A lot of like selfishness shown by large parts of the community, and like really high disregard for like other people's health, and like low altruism kind of bum me out that people were just like, well, better buy absolutely everything in here because we're going into apocalypse mode, rather than
See,
being sensible.
I kind of flip flop on it. Like sometimes I think that people are really fucked and have no empathy, and then other times I just kind of like, I don't know. I get that it's kind of hard to understand such an abstract concept as the coronavirus until it like personally affects you or someone in your family. Like you can be told a million times that staying home actually saves lives, but you still can't fully emotionally process that, like, if you stayed home today and didn't pass it to someone, that you might save some old person or something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's kind of a.
I mean, I feel like that's not that hard to understand, though. I mean, I guess I'm just looking at it from like a logical standpoint where everything just makes sense a lot easier. Like you stay inside, less risk of spreading and everything.
The problem is,
I
sorry.
think people just there's like a lot of overreaction, especially with the media portraying everything as. I think people just need to take a step back and like take a nice, calm look at it instead of freaking out about everything.
People are definitely going crazy rather than the like people either don't care or are going crazy and aren't at the nice middle ground where they'll like just take it seriously and just do what they need to do rather than. But I mean that's basically every.
But see, I've seen a
issue,
lot
right?
more not caring than crazy, and I think the not caring is a lot more dangerous than
For sure.
crazy. Like
Oh, yeah,
crazy is I'm
I'm hoarding toilet
spreading
paper.
some dumb stuff on the internet, or I'm hoarding toilet paper. Like, yeah, that's kind of affecting people, but not really. But the people who don't care and are like going to spring break or whatever, that's
AKA
the real
Florida,
danger.
baby.
Agreed. Coronavirus.
Yep, that's me.
All right. Enough with that. What are your thoughts so far on the current season of Fantasy EHP?
I'm just gonna say it. I don't care about fantasy. It's just a competition to see who can game the most. If people want to play 110 plus hours every week and play in a RuneScape competition, go at it. But I'm just here for the drama. Always happen.
I'm actually a super optimist on this, and maybe it's just early, but like I feel like this has been one of the best ones yet.
I agree.
think the no trading, no mid-season pickups, all that caused so much of the drama, taking that out, even though it like removes something from it, was actually a good thing for like the community health almost. And I don't know. I see a lot of positives in fantasy. Like I'm talking to people that I would have never talked to or even heard of before, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think the social aspect is very cool. I like my team. I like getting to know the people on my team. And I mean, we did pretty good. Like we got to week 3 without any, just beginning the first serious drama of the season. But having experienced last year's attempt at a season, this season is incredibly good in comparison.
Yeah,
so
I was
definitely have.
Sorry.
Yeah, optimism.
I was super skeptical that another fantasy could even happen because of last year, but I think it was just the fact that there was 3 fantasies in the span of 1 year, basically. That was just like too much for people. So I just felt like that was probably just doomed from the start, and having like the reset was nice because it gave people something to look forward to.
No, I agree.
And I like how I thought with 8 starters it might not be good, but I still think that it's good. Like, I didn't want it to have too many starters because then, like, individual effort means less. But I think having 8 has been fine, and it's given me the chance to start more weeks, I think. So that's cool.
And also the 8 teams has been really good because all the teams are actually more or less balanced. Like, obviously, there are better teams and worse teams, but there are no teams that are just doomed from the get-go, where that's been the case in every season I can remember.
Right.
And I don't know. It's depressing for the players on the team because you get drafted on that team and you wanted to play and now you're just fucked. Plus, it makes the schedules more balanced because now you have to like try against every week instead of it's a freebie week because we're playing whatever garbage team. So
yeah, well, you don't get a freebie week now because you're playing a garbage team. You get a freebie week because the other team's on 6 out.
Yeah,
that's true, but that's always been the case, and that's part of the strategy.
that is. It's just,
I like, but
I also really like the size of the teams, that you have like a lot of bench players, and that makes it more interesting in the long run, I think.
for sure.
Like, see what they can do maybe.
Just
I
to
think
like,
it would be better. I think it would be better in future fantasies if there were some sort of way to like delay the start of the next week so every team could 6R.
Oh, yeah.
I think
And
I
a
disagree
point
though.
system
I like
too.
the strategy of you have to beat your team this week pretty bad, otherwise like you're gonna be screwed for next week or like on the wrong foot for next week. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel
But I
like
can
that,
see the other side.
that punishes bad teams and rewards good teams. Like way too well. I think like if you're immediately behind, like what 42 hours, like that's such a deficit for a weaker team to make up.
I see what you're saying, but I feel like if a team has to go all out for a week, then even if they could 6-hour for the next week, they're going to be so... If the other team is fresh, I don't think it'll make the difference of them winning or losing.
I think it's a good...
Yeah.
I thought of that.
Yeah, especially with like the team sizes right now, you could swap in a lot of people that can still 6-hour for the
For
next
sure.
week.
That's why it's important to
Remember
have depth on your team.
Yep.
Just as Levine said, draft a better bench.
That's true. And it's even more true with 14 players now.
True.
What do you guys think about the point system that we used to have, so people didn't just give up like midweek or
I
stuff like
personally would like that, but I know some people feel like the opposite on that.
I was
Yeah,
pretty indifferent.
I don't know. It just seems kind of silly that you can like give up, like immediately, and you're not really punished for it.
Well, you can only do
Kind
that
of
so many times,
Competitiveness.
you know?
I mean, you still have a loss on your record for giving up. Like,
Yeah,
it still
And the
hurts
loss
your...
is huge now with only
Yeah,
7
every week is massive.
matchups. Yeah.
And there is no bad teams. That's another thing I want to highlight. Like, I think some teams are just a little bit better than others, but there's not like one team that's like the clear favorite, I think.
Yeah, I think a bunch of teams got underestimated,
For
and
sure.
that's kind of good.
It'll be interesting to see how the season plays out because there's always a little bit of like decay in teams as the season goes on, and so like that's whoever the best team at the end wins. So it'll be interesting to see who that is.
Yeah, we're about to be like in the smack dab middle of it, so it'll be really interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Another cool thing about fantasy is just like I think it actually adds to the HLC because you get a lot of people who may not have joined the HLC that are now got picked in a comp and like make friends and start gaming pretty hard, and then they realize they're 3K up and want to continue gaming after fantasy. I mean, obviously there's people that just game for fantasy, but I think it does help grow the high level community.
For sure. It's really cool to see like players I've never seen before just pop off, and
Oh, yeah.
it happens every time. It's like without fail.
And then it's cool to see some of them stick around too.
For sure. If you guys had to pick like a favorite right now, who do you think's gonna take it?
Damn. I gotta look at teams.
Damn, kudos, you're gonna ask 4
I
members
know.
of the MTF.
Yeah, this is kind of weird.
I swear, it just happened like this. Definitely wasn't
I
rigged.
drafted around the podcast. I mean, I'm just gonna say, obviously, I hope MTF wins. I'm really happy with the team that Mitch and I drafted, and I hope we can, at the very least, make playoffs. Well, I would like to take it.
I'm gonna say
Go
the
to the
Wizards.
finals would be the dream.
The Wizards. I think the Wizards are good.
Kind of slapped.
Yeah. That last week was pretty insane.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they're not in the, they're making playoffs. I'd be surprised if they win the top 2.
Yeah.
My goal for the Bears is just to make playoffs. If we make playoffs, that's pretty.
If you made the playoffs, I'd be genuinely impressed, Vires.
Vyas has to sit down and have the talk with the girlfriend about the fact that he's going to be a DJ and neat for 2 months.
Well, I don't know. Obviously, I'm on a team, so I want us to win.
For sure.
But I don't know. All the teams are pretty good. There's no clear winner. There's no clear loser. But obviously, I stand with the lovely ladies on the MTFs.
Yeah, hashtag the future is female.
So wise.
Let's see. All right. I guess we're done with the fantasy. What is your opinion about multi-skill methods? Should they be made EHP? For example, drift net or swimming.
Personally, I think if it's realistic enough to do it, then yes. So I think swimming could be, because I mean it depends on the person, I guess. If you have enough like skills left, then sure do swimming because you can make enough money from other things. But if you're like, I don't know, if you have not many other skills left and only agility to make money, then you kind of have to like make money on the side. And with DriftNet, I feel like it's unrealistic, as in if many people try to buy the nets and the like Utah fiber things, there just isn't enough of them in the game, I think, for.
Well, I think you're supposed to make them on an alt. I think that's what most people do. Which,
Yeah,
whether or not that should be
pretty
meta, I don't know, but...
Which is
Does
10
it
mil
include,
crafting
like
XP.
farming the things? Like farming the Utah fibers?
I don't know.
I'd
I don't know
absolutely-
how it works, but...
I don't think anybody knows how this works. Except like the 3 people that did the method, you know.
I
Yeah,
think multi-skilling methods are gay.
I agree.
It's annoying.
Retweet.
It like adds a complexity to planning your path to 200 mil all that like doesn't give you the freedom to pick whatever skills you want to do, I guess. I mean, obviously that has no bearing on whether or not it should be EHP. If it's the most efficient method and it's realistic, then it should be EHP. But from a personal standpoint, I find them annoying as shit.
I feel like with the current RC meta, you kind of need, like, 'cause I feel like you can't really play the alts or money making alts with driftnet fishing, swimming, and stuff like that. So where you need like the extra agility and pyramid plunder time to make the money for RC if you decide to do like 3 runners or 4 runners for lavas.
Pyramid plunder.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Rob. Someone said this the other day, and it's like the game keeps getting shorter to finish Tournament Hall, but keeps getting more expensive. Swimming is something I can't see many people ever doing because you lose so much agi time, and pretty much everyone regards agi time as either feet on desk relaxation time or time to really stack the bank. And a lot of people do that with thieving as well, with like foot nights or whatever. DriftNet I think offers like an interesting, especially considering like it's pretty high overhead for like 2 gatherers. It definitely gives people like a way out if they like hate black chins, or like I don't know if they struggle with barb or whatever. But I don't know. It's kind of, I'm not the biggest fan of the methods themselves, but if they're efficient, they're efficient, right? And people have to weigh up whether they're willing to put in the effort to get, you know, all the drift nets and do that method, or if they want to do like what could be 0.8 barb.
Yeah, I think it would be 0.9 because I think it would make fishing 130k.
Right. I thought it was gonna be 140.
I'm not
like
sure.
142 or something.
I don't know how good the drift netting is, but
I think if you're good at it, it's like consistently over.
But yeah, the thing with that is obviously you lose out on the money from black chins, and then
I suppose it adds the element.
yeah, you got to do all that bullshit. I don't know. It just seems like a lot to make it EHP, but I could see an argument for that. But personally, I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah, I also think, I mean, some people play alt for fishing, so you could argue, hey, it gives you an opportunity to make money with fishing where some people don't.
Oh yeah, 2-ticking is like really easy to alt with.
Yeah.
I mean, it just brings into the discussion of like, is money factored into EHP, and you know,
yeah,
that's a whole separate debate that might not even be worth having.
I think with the current meta, it should be in the discussion with a lot of people going to runners for RC.
For sure.
Oh, Max says it makes Hunter 300k an hour, by the way. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
That is huge.
So literally 0.9 black, like max rate black chins.
You don't get 300k an hour at black chins, Kudos?
Well, like I think the best hour is like 280 something.
Yeah,
but nobody sustains more than like probably like 270.
I mean, it looks pretty feet on desk compared to 280k black chins.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like.
Yeah, black chins is an involved method to say the least. So
compared
if
to
people are like,
I don't know.
I think the meta is to spam Jagex on Twitter to make it the pulled rate, and then we don't even have to have the discussion.
Oh, that's true.
True.
That's a good point.
Just like do what Solus did for VM.
Except that didn't do anything.
VM hasn't been touched because of people tweeting about it. Just
I mean, I'm gonna say that, but VM's gotten better, if anything.
Well, that's mostly due to the crystal pickaxe. That was a 15% buff.
Jagex did that as a spite move, dude.
Found the VM hall monitor in the fucking podcast.
Fishes with glasses.
Dude, I stand
Actually,
fucking VM.
I mean, we can have the VM discussion again if people want.
Oh
about,
God,
is it-
please,
is it like
just
macro?
just spare me, dude.
Is it macro because you play like 3 ults with it and pay for 0+4, and the time you save on like RC versus the time you lose on mining?
That leads me
Someone do
into
the
the
snoring.
the next question that you had about runners. What are your guys' expectations regarding the Daeyalt? Will it be disruptive enough, if at all, to the current runners meta?
The what?
I think the new
Small
essence
weapons.
mining shit that they're and like Mire Ditch or whatever.
They're adding new rune crafting stuff.
It's like
Yes.
the essence has like 1.5 times percent XP.
Ah,
I think at the beginning it's gonna be complete dog shit 'cause they were basing it off like Abyss RC like at 25 or 30k an hour, and that's just not gonna be viable with the current method for EHP. But I think if enough people complain about it, especially the Reddit crowd, then it's gonna be buffed very quickly. But also
Yeah,
depends
when-
on how big that buff is to make
When
it
Reddit
viable
finds
for
out
people.
that it doesn't make RC like 10 times as fast, they're gonna cry, and it will. I mean, it might just make the meta duos instead.
Yeah,
Because you can
it
be able to
could.
get pretty high rate.
I mean, if it gets like a decent buff, it's gonna be viable for like 0 time, which would be nice for a lot of players.
yeah. The
Huge
question
for
the
me.
question is like the big question is how much essence can you mine per hour to make it worth it? And I
I
think
think they set it at like 2 or 3k an hour right now.
which is
I think-
not good enough. I've heard.
Yeah, it needs to be like 8
I
or
think
something.
Hebox
Yeah.
Showing was saying a few months ago in Discord like it needs to be like 6 or 7k an hour you need to gather for it to be viable.
Yeah.
To like do it over redwoods, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make like solo lavas like 120k, I think.
Oh,
Duos would be probably like 150.
Yeah, 150. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would welcome that, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pretty high. Like, to be honest, Reddit hates RC and they love.
Yeah, but
mining.
as long as it's more than 50k an hour, they're pog champing.
Dude, that's not enough for them anymore. They're crying about fucking.
mean,
they cry about.
Also, are they really gonna want to do lavas over souls for the
Yeah,
effort?
that's not happening.
Like, I doubt it, dude.
Well,
They
it
just
would be
need-
for the people trying to get 77.
Yeah. They just want to start the game with 77 RC.
I don't know. It seems like an update that most redditors won't even use, and I feel like it's gonna be dead for us.
I mean,
So, I
even
don't
if they
know.
don't use it, they're still gonna bitch about it because how many Reddit people do agility, but they were still bitching about Pref.
Why were they bitching about Priv?
Not fast enough.
Yeah.
Well, they did buff it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything to say about that. What the hell?
It was just like the day after. It
That
was
makes
just
no
the day
sense.
after.
Another new update. What are your guys' expectations regarding the hollowed sepulture, the new agility course? Willing to let go on some of the alting if the XP increase is substantial. I've heard
Someone
rumors
explain this.
of it being the new agility course, basically being 80k an hour.
I think it has the same issue as swimming. People need agi for money, so they're gonna not do it.
I think it would be like a nice alternative for the more normie crowd. Instead of doing rooftops, you have like a more fun, like click intensive method.
Oh
So I
yeah,
think
because they
it's
love.
it's gonna be like similar to Brim with the way it's structured, but more rewarding XP, and then you also get the cosmetic rewards such as Black Graceful and the Squirrel recolor.
But does it have tickets, and can my team drop them?
So if it's 80k an hour, does that become EHP?
I mean, it
Yeah, I
would,
think it
yeah.
displaces
Have to.
swimming.
That's huge.
Artie would become 0.75.
So I guess the meta would be like save agility for last as possible, and then if you still need money, you do Artie, and then if you don't, you can do.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It,
think most people.
I think that would be the most macro thing.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Most people just be excited about. I'm just going for a kudos.
Go ahead.
Most people be excited about thieving probably changing, if anything.
True.
Yeah, I guess
that's- yeah.
swimming
It would
would.
separate it.
That wouldn't make swimming EHP anymore, right?
Yeah, I think swimming would no longer be EHP because you don't need to do it for Agi.
Then I can get
So it
1-to-1 tap in the foot. That's PogChamp.
I think duo plunder would still be EP. So yeah, you get like 0.9 something.
Make
Also,
Plunder
the thing
great
with the
again.
with the hollowed whatever, we're also gonna get the ring of endurance.
Oh
and a few other
no.
things. That stupid fucking ring.
What is that?
So if you have like 500 charges on it, your run energy gets depleted like half as fast. So it's just like stam pots on steroids, but you don't require any stam pots.
What's that useful?
Blast furnace,
furnace.
people that do herbivore, I guess farm runs. Swimming, it's a nice buff, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that's
I guess
it.
Duo RC.
Oh yeah.
I just did the math. So if that became EP, you'd lose 800 hours of agility, but you'd gain the 400 of the thieving. So overall, you'd lose. It'd make the time to 200 mil 400 hours less.
Damn.
Was that with
Oh yeah,
80K?
wood cutting, 1.5.
What, Anger?
Was that with agility at 80K?
Yeah, 80k.
Yeah,
I just did
okay.
3k hours times 75 because it's like 3k hours of agility.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you'd get like 400 hours back for the thieving.
80K sounds so high for
It's
agility,
speedy.
though.
I don't know. I hope it doesn't. It's not that good, but honestly, agility hasn't changed really in 7 years. So
Well, also, if they're saying it's 80k, then it could be higher than 80k.
Yeah.
yeah,
Remember when
that's
they
the
said
scary
that-
part.
You can't. It's very hard to
Espe-
trust Jagex with your XP rates.
Well, especially if it's like a more complicated method that requires some kind of brain power, because generally Jagex doesn't have brain power, and like the autistic RuneScape community does. So if they think it's 70k an hour because they tried it once, and then we figure out it's actually like 110 because you do some dumb shit. I could see that
Yeah.
happening.
Oh my god.
There will be a RuneLight plugin for it within like 2 weeks. And
Oh
it'll
yeah,
be like
and it'll
100%.
probably be extremely broken.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then it
Yeah,
will get
just
pulled to
like
like
the,
nerf it again, and it won't pass
Just
the
like
nerf.
Yeah, because the average person isn't gonna put in the
Yeah.
effort.
Did they pull this already, or are they still waiting to pull it?
I believe it's already been pulled, and most of
Think
it
so.
passed.
But what about the XP rates?
Yeah, they never explain any of that. They just launch it on the day of surprise, like a here you go.
Are you
Honestly,
sure?
I wish they would discuss the XP rates a little bit more with the community before they actually like finish polling it, for us to like get feedback on that. But Jagex said no, fuck you. We decide.
I think it would be cool to have an agi method that like is as click intensive as fishing or woodcutting. Like obviously you'd lose rooftops, which kind of sucks because that's brain dead, but
Yeah.
it would be cool to have like a method that you can't really alt during, and then I could just like go for 200 mil agi and I don't know, have fun instead of like jerking off and watching movies.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll certainly
That sounds like a lot of fun to me, dude.
the ripple effect of an 80k agility course is massive. Like
Yeah,
for the
that's
meta.
But Jagex don't care about the meta.
Balance
Well,
the
they're-
game
they're
around
obviously
people
not-
playing.
They're obviously not
16K
designing
hours.
the game around 200 mil all.
Oh no, and then
that's out of the
they
question.
shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I think they should a little bit because it is a very dedicated part of their player base.
Yeah, but that doesn't
But-
make them
Like
money.
they-
100 players, like
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
know
but
if
that
that's
player
like-
base hates them.
Yeah.
Agility bad, make it faster.
I don't know why Reddit hates agility. It's like the ultimate Netflix skill.
Well, when you play the game like most people play it instead of how we autistically play it, most things in this game are very AFK, and agi is one of the more click intensive skills, especially
I
in the
suppose,
lower
true.
levels.
I mean, yeah, low level agi, it's not as fun as arty. That's true.
But you should
I don't know
never
if I would
really end
describe
up doing
Arty as
low level
fun.
agility. Like you just do fishing,
Yeah,
and then
like
you're like 70, and then
AF
you skip it.
99 fishing is 74 agility.
76, 74.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. That gets you what?
Yeah, but
One
most
level
people
away from pying to Relica? Like you're fine.
most people aren't gonna like do 99 fishing though for like skip agility.
Yeah.
That's the
They're
big
gonna
brain meta though.
they're gonna hit 70 and say, "Man, this shit's so boring and gay. I'm gonna go do something else."
I'm gonna go kill monsters.
Okay. Next question. What are your guys' thoughts on Jagex adding the PvP update without a poll? Do you think this will set a bad precedent for the future integrity of the game?
Well, here's the thing, is that a lot of people that vote on polls are really stupid.
That is true.
And
Big retweet.
I don't know. It's hard to kind of balance up the like you should vote altruistically like for the health of the game versus you should vote completely in your own self-interest, and a lot of people just vote in their own self-interest and like hate PvP. So like I get where they were coming from with the PvP communities like, hey Jagex, nothing ever passes because like everyone hates us. So like I get that, but it is kind of a bad precedence that Jagex just like ignoring that it got polled, but I see why they went this update is more important than that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of flipping back and forth on it.
Yeah, there's definitely is a lot of spite voting to the PvP area of the game, mostly because a lot of like the best methods for skilling like Hunter and Prayer is set in the wildy, and a few PvP things are in the wildy, so people definitely get a little angry when they get PK'd, but it's also the wilderness, so they gotta learn how to deal with that. But then I
Yeah.
wish when they did PvP updates, they make sure that it's actually working properly and not even more busted than before, because apparently boosting right now is 5 mil per kill,
Insane. Yeah.
and boosters are making more money than ever right now.
Friendship with
Yeah.
redacted alt method over now BH boosting my best friend.
I will say I do like the approach they took with making like a little community Discord with the PvP community to kind of discuss updates. I do like that as like a good way of moving forward with updates, and I wish they would do that with more areas of the game.
For sure.
I mean, it'd be cool if they had some kind of like, and maybe they even do some private Discord that they got feedback from, and then had a vote in that was just like higher level PvPers or something instead of putting the poll up for the masses. But I'm sure they did get some feedback before launching an update from the PvP community, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think they do have like a private PvP Discord with like the PvP content creators and a lot of the well-known PvPers in that scene where they can discuss stuff.
Yeah.
I suppose also at the end of the day, Jagex needs to appeal to the masses as much as possible because
Yeah.
they're the ones that make the money. So
I mean-
like, if the average Redditor wants to do his hard clue scroll and gets slapped by some dude at max, like he's probably not going to sit down there and then think about, well, that's the consequences of me wanting to do content in the wilderness. He's going to be like, fuck that guy. He took me for 200K.
Well, that's the
So,
thing. It's like people vote no because they put so much content in the wildy, you know, it affects them. So obviously they're going to vote no. But I do feel like bad for the PvPers at the same time because it seems like Jagex always manages to just fuck it up, like this bounty hunter update. They're trying to
fair,
counter.
Jagex fucks up most updates.
That's true, but I feel like they do like an especially good job of doing that with PvP. Like the BH update, they tried to counter boosters, and it seems like it's even worse than before now. So I don't know. Yeah, I think it's hard to revive PvP though. I feel like
a lot of
It's hard to
PvP
balance it.
is capped around the fact that like back in the day people weren't as good, so like it felt fairer and the learning curve wasn't as punishing, but now people are just like incredible.
Well,
And-
it's also kind of the mindset of people changing from like, I want to just play the game and do random stuff and I don't care if I make progress, to like people growing up and having a more goal orientated mindset,
sure.
and then they want to go do something else other than stand in the wilderness doing random shit for hours.
all right.
It's kind of bad though. Like they brought out the bounty hunter thing, and then they disabled it, and then they re-released it. And
Yeah,
it's,
that's
it's
pretty.
still broken.
That's
like,
bad. That's really bad.
It's so annoying.
It's
I
also
really
weird.
feel sorry for them.
Yep.
The thing I don't think there's a way they can really. I can't think of a good way they can really like deal with boosters, because as long as the emblems thing is in the game, there's people gonna boost that no matter what for money.
Yeah, you just
but
gotta like.
You could put a bunch of methods in place to prevent gold farmers from doing it. Like, I know a lot of PK accounts are alts anyway, so they don't have any stats except like combat stats. So it's like you can't even put a total level requirement on it. It's really hard, I think, to get around it.
Yeah, because then if you put too high of a total level, then they're gonna cry that they can't. Like the noobs are gonna cry that they
Yeah.
can't do it on their pure or whatever. It's hard to win.
Jay, your voice of
Yeah,
reason is being requested.
I just wanted to say that I think it's really weird that they put in the world, if you change to a bounty hunter world, you're automatically scald, but it doesn't like warn you or anything. So
I think
it's
they
gonna be
did
bad
add
for some
that.
people.
They did add
They put
a hop warning.
Did they? No?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, because before that's just fucked for like new people, I think.
Oh,
If they're
yeah.
just like hopping randomly,
Easy
doing prayer,
lure.
whatever, and then it's like, yeah, that's fucked.
I think it's also pretty bad for people to get into the PvP community nowadays, just because with how toxic like the outside view is the PvP community is. There's a lot of fuck shit going on in their community with doxing. There's a lot of like general toxicity in there.
I mean, yeah, like the general attitude is like, don't fuck with rot, or your like router will become deep fried. Like that's not really encouraging, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys looking forward to the Dead Man event or not really?
Hell
I mean,
yeah,
as
free
someone who was
swapping.
doing Hunter, as someone who was doing Hunter, yes.
I think it would be good for all the skillers just to start busting out like Hunter and Prayer, since there's going to be a lot less PKers. It's always pretty entertaining to watch, because there's usually always something that goes pretty bad, which I
Yeah.
think is always kind of entertaining to see like what the fuck happened.
Is
this
it gonna
time.
have the 1v1s or is it gonna be like the?
If they remove the 1v1s, then that's the stupidest decision I think they can make with Deadman mode, because then it just goes back to Clanman mode, and I think the 1v1s is probably the most enjoyable part of watching Deadman mode.
Yeah, it's like a huge clusterfuck when they did it the other way. But it was impressive to see Rot just dominate it. But
I mean, Rot is the king of multi, but singles they don't stand a chance against other clans.
yeah, they're like, I don't know if you guys
do you
watched.
smell burning router?
I don't know if you guys watched the 1v1s, but there's some really fucking good PKers.
But
Yeah. They got the
mostly
clicks,
a lot of
man.
the Fools guys, 10-13 as a god.
Oh my god.
I've never
yeah.
seen a man switch like with that accurate and fast clicks play this game.
I gotta, dude. You gotta watch out for Jenny Death in the 1v1s, man. Perfect brews and 1v1s.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was epic.
I'm scared that servers and high scores will be even more fucked again, because it always happens with that, man.
Yeah.
They seem to be working okay for now, though. Like, pray it's fine.
Yeah.
They're
okay.
manageable.
the
Like if
6
you
arm.
really, yeah.
Just wait till Deadman mode actually starts, and we'll have that talk about servers.
Yeah.
Dude, it's already AIDS. There's 150k people online, and not
Yeah,
enough
you are doing the
worlds.
social skill, man.
Yeah,
Hopefully they add Deadman modes instead of changing worlds to Deadman mode worlds.
they have to add. I think Ash replied. He did reply to me and said they're gonna add more worlds for Dead Man, but I still think we need like 20 more worlds overall.
We temporarily lower Slayer app to account for idiots.
Yeah, like me doing Black Demons right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a PogChamp podcast task though.
Look at him go. Big spender. Oh, my kudos to Fire Max Cape. Really, man.
Dude, don't fucking talk if you don't have a fucking Infernal.
It's not
Whoa.
efficient to
He's a
go for
regular
Hello?
fire.
I have an infernal?
Yeah, can you flame him for me, Anger?
No, that's my leader, dude.
PogChamp.
Flushed.
But Spangley's a manager, so
Oh yeah, mixed loyalties.
Sorry, I won't ask that of you.
Next question. What do you guys think about crystal shards being buyable or tradable, I guess?
What are those?
It failed a poll, and then they did it anyway.
Why did they
it's
do that?
It's what you use to charge the like crystal pickaxe, crystal axe, working.
How do you get them?
You trade
Tool
in like
seeds, weapon seeds.
yeah, you just trade them in to an NPC. I personally think it's nice because it's less time people have to spend at perf and more time at arty, which is the superior course.
It's certainly more reclined.
Yeah, personally I like it because I need the shards, so that's good for me, but I think overall it's probably not the best decision.
It made my investment of buying 500k crystal keys really pay off.
What the fuck?
Can't wait to get 5 ep of crafting and smithing an hour each.
Do you think with like a quote-unquote unlimited supply of money that method becomes viable?
I mean, yeah, if you can buy enough
I mean,
crystal keys, man,
you
I'm
could
dropping-
say
I'm
that
dropping
about
the-
so many methods, though. If you
Well, I
want to
mean,
use
okay,
that.
not like actual like limited like unlimited amount, but like good amount of change. You can just dump it on crystal keys.
Do you know the GPXP of it?
It's really, really high. More than RC.
Well, like high.
Yeah, it's very expensive, man. I'm dropping the 400 in finals.
What's like the theoretical hour rate you could get doing it?
It's like 2 mil of each an hour or something.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Wait, 2 mil
Sounds like
crafting and 2 mil what?
Smithing, I think.
Oh my god.
If I recall correctly, or it might be lower than that. I think Blake did a video on it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Aren't you just supposed to make like the super combats? That's like the best value thing.
Yeah.
That's supposed to value for money.
Yeah, obviously you guys use them, but
I think you're meant to use them in volcanic mine, but I'm not sure.
all right.
Hell
Fuck
yeah,
off.
Oh, it's literally macro.
Disagree, man. I think you can make enough money without VM. It's just some people are lazy, and that's fine.
Damn, Curse really said.
Is getting 1-to-1 a priority to you, or do you prioritize enjoyment if a method you prefer is sub 1-to-1?
Yes, I'm a slave to the 1-to-1.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is directed towards me, like as a personal attack.
Yeah,
'Cause, like-
I feel this. I'm a slave, and I mean, personally, everyone on TS has heard me complain about black chins. I don't really love that method, and I love red chins, like that stuff. So,
yeah.
I
I
love
mean,
it, but
Honestly,
Yeah.
it comes down to like, what is your average ep week gonna be? And if you are doing the 1-to-1 method but playing 10 hours a week versus doing the like feed on desk method but getting 50 ep a week, then you should do the feed on desk method. But for me and Carrie and probably Spangled too, it's a lot of it. It's just like, oh well, I'm probably not gonna enjoy the not 1-to-1 method because I know I'm not getting 1-to-1, even though it's really reclined, and so
Yeah.
it just feels really shitty to do.
Yeah.
See, I used to feel like that a little, but more recently I've just kind of been taking it a bit more chill while I play RS3.
Oh, we
Kinda is
we
what-
didn't notice.
come on, boys.
Damn, all right.
You should have
Everyone
flamed
be
me when you
friends.
had the chance, Anger.
I would
but-
just do the
one.
method I enjoy more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
care
aspire to
about
be.
it, but yeah.
I'm pretty much the same as Jay. I'll do whatever method I enjoy. I don't really care what ep I'm getting an hour, as long as I'm making progress on my account. That's really the only thing
Yeah.
that matters to me.
You're
Good
right. I
progress.
just launched the Ellie at the Jewel Arena. We'll find out if I'm doing black chins.
I'm trying to get better about it though. Like if I'm going through a period where I'm kind of burnt or want to do something else or whatever, I want to make sure I'm at least logged in and gaining some sort of EHP, even if it's not 1-to-1, because that's better than just not
Yeah.
logging in at all, which is what sometimes I can tend to do if I'm like, well, I don't want to do the 1-to-1 method, but if I do something else, I'm going to feel shit, so I'm just not going to log in. which
That's
is just
dude.
worse.
That's literally me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like
So-
2 all or nothing with it.
But then there's a counterpoint where if you get way too chill in the like 0.5 methods, then
Yeah.
you know, you're not reaching your potential because you're not pushing yourself to do the 1-to-1. So I don't know. It's a weird balance you have to find as you go through the game.
I think it's people should try out the 1-to-1 method, and if they then try it for a little bit, see if they enjoy it or not. If they don't enjoy it, then just do the more reclined method, see if you enjoy that more.
Yeah,
Or even do a mixture of both.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just you got to find what kind of works for you.
I suppose it depends if the game is a game to you or it's
A
like
lifestyle.
competition. Yeah,
I mean,
because if it's a competition to you,
I think it's
and yeah,
both to varying degrees for all of us, right?
and like ultimately, if you play it to have fun and you hate the 1-to-1 method, then like,
Yeah,
you're gonna burn out.
you should then. It's probably better for you to do the worst method because you'll play more, play for
Retweet.
longer. So, yeah.
Hitting the priff tab.
Like,
right now.
I guess a good example for that of me is like coming to terms that Tazars are not fun and I don't want to do them. I did them for 20 mil XP and it kind of burnt me out, so I just stopped doing them, and it's fine to do Slayer without them.
Kind of weird how you stopped doing that after the steroid got dumpstered.
What? Anyone know what this guy's talking about?
Come on, Robert.
Dude,
Honestly, an
What?
interesting balance to find is like using methods that you're supposed to be making money during as burnt methods. Like if I don't really want to log in, or like I'm doing homework or something, so I'm doing foot nights, but I really could be making a ton of money during foot nights. Like there's some kind of guilt in wasting the method not making money.
You know what they say? There wasn't a pandemic till Vyers wasn't broke.
That's true.
So keep tapping the foot Vyers.
all
But
right.
I do agree though. Like at the end of the day, it's a game. Like I think to get a little off topic, there's definitely I feel like a lot of people probably have the same feeling of there's a lot of like guilt surrounding the game. Like
Yeah.
you should be getting in a lot of hours. You should be like making progress, and like if you're not, then you feel bad.
Well,
And-
that's like the competition part of it. Like people are
Yeah.
pushing you to play more. That's the thing. Especially with fantasy too, you know.
yeah, 100%.
Which I mean, I like making progress. That's like the motivating part for me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a healthy balance of that, like, guilt, which kind of has a negative connotation, but some of it's good to, like, motivate you to play more, and then too much of it is bad because then you just feel like shit all the time of, like, well, I could have slept an hour less here, or, like,
Yeah,
done already on the phone
that's
while
where it
making
gets
dinner
fucked.
here, and then you're just... A lot of people are not long-term with that kind of mindset, or just
Yeah.
not enjoying the video game, you know?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
am definitely a colossal stickler for that. Given to maintain certain, nothing colossal week wise, but to maintain weeks, I definitely was logged in a gigantic amount on mobile around like the rest of my lifestyle for fishing.
All right. Is there any skill that you have finished that has had a meta change you wish you could redo?
What if I haven't finished a skill?
I guess I guess you
Well, you
should
finished
shut
your
your
man,
mouth
so-
then.
I'm gonna say no. I'm really glad I did all the skills when I did them. Like I don't want to have to decide whether or not I'm doing 1.5 or 2. I'm glad I just got to do 2-tick woodcutting. I'm glad I got to do 3-tick barb, and I don't have to decide between drift net, 2-tick, and 3-tick. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I wouldn't mind. Like I don't think I would have necessarily done 2-tick or driftnet. Maybe I would consider driftnet, like given that it's pretty like over, and I can't imagine it's like insanely hard, like to the point where it rivals the like click intensity or stuff of like black chins. But overall, I'm pretty happy that I did barb.
Agreed. I
might regret 70 mil agi if the new agi method is fun.
well, I think everyone has a shit ton of agi, so you won't be the only one.
I'm like 34 mil, Kurnos. 33
But-
mil.
I guess I'd still have a lot of it left to do. Actually, that might be the
I mean-
perfect amount, like 130 mil of the new method, so it's not like a ton of it, but I still get to do a good bit of it if it's fun.
Yeah.
And if it's not fun, I'll kill myself.
Whoa.
What?
That's fucking TOS, brother.
Dude, rip
I mean, that
Vires.
is
Your
so
channel,
funny.
not mine.
Oh no. I don't think I can get banned for stuff that you say.
No, you
Only he
can't.
does
I
it.
think you can.
Kudos, do not give Rob that freedom.
Oh,
Yo,
He's gonna
calm.
say it.
I promised I would behave.
He did. I've got him on a
Karma
leash.
awake, dude.
I don't know. Thank you for the sub though, Karma. Are there I was gonna say, like, yeah, I'm happy with the skills that I did and the way I did them. I have no regrets.
That's a lie. You wish you were in VM with the boys.
Oh my god.
Dude, well, dude, once you go VM, you never go back.
I just can't. I can't rely on
it's-
people, dude. That's the thing. I don't like relying on other people.
It does get a little
Yes.
annoying, but it's so relaxing, and I don't know. I like the aspect of like communicating with other players.
Yeah, but I don't think if Kudos did mining like outside of Granite, he'd be the Kudos that he is today.
Yeah, he's too autistic to do VM.
And I couldn't do it just because it's 0.7. Like, I could never justify it.
Not even to be with the boys.
Nope.
That's
Not a
I
true
don't know,
fan.
Kudos. I heard rumors that you got 0.7 during Hunter.
Oh god. Spangle does one fucking 250k hour and he has a fucking ego.
Dude, I haven't even got a 260 yet, man. I'm
It's
trash
alright.
at Black
My
Games.
best hour was not even 270, so I'm sure you can do better than that.
I don't know, man. I hate the method. My brain's
Uh,
too small and smooth.
Let's see. Why do you guys think so many people burn between 8 to 9k EHP?
Running out of easy skills. Next question.
Honestly, that was my response too, but other people had different responses. So
yeah, my answer to that was, I think, like, it's the point where, you know, you've played the game a ton, so you're kind of tired of playing the game, and you still aren't close enough to where you are like committed to getting 200 mil all. Like, at 9k hours, you're not even 2/3 of the way there, and so that last 6k, you're like, oh, I have to do it almost all over again, which is just really daunting. Like, yeah, obviously, probably having the harder skills left also plays a factor of you not wanting to log in anymore, but like, I don't know, I feel like anyone after playing the game for 9,000 efficient hours might not want to play the game anymore or as much.
yeah,
And also, like, I think not just like hard skills, but a lot of the really expensive skills are left to last. Like, a lot of people leave con and RC and stuff, and that pressure to make all that money is just like, it's a real crunch factor for a lot of people. But I think Vi's probably had hit the nail on the head that like 9k app is that's like a year straight of like, there's like 8,700 hours in a year or something like that. Like, that's a year of the game, and that's a lot.
And I think
struggle to
the
think of
money
one
is a
yet.
good point too, because if you're struggling for money in the last 5 or 6k hours, then those 5 or 6k efficient hours turn into more like 7 or 8 or even 9,000 real hours,
Yeah.
because you have to do under ep methods, either because they're cheaper or because you need to make money during them, and then you're only halfway done with the game at that point. And you also feel this guilt for like not doing the efficient methods, the one-to-one methods. So I don't know.
I think a lot of people, also a lot of people's least favorite part of the game is the game feeling like a job in some sense, where you have to be making money all the time while doing stuff. Like, playing an ult is like a chore for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
so like
retweet.
thinking about like, well, I have 6k hours to go, and I need to play more alts than I've ever played before because I'm poor.
just
and have to
fucking
pay
at
for
me,
RC.
dude. Just fucking at me.
Is like is very daunting in that sense. And so it's like, well, I could do 5 ults and agi like GT, or I could log off.
I guess it just comes down to like how much you really want it. Like 200 mil all is definitely a fucking huge grind, and most people will make it, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely an underestimated goal for sure.
I don't think I think if you asked this question years ago, like people would say like, yeah, 200 mil is not realistic at all. But like over the years, it's gotten this like perception of being easier, which I mean, it has got less hours, but it's still like a fucking huge achievement to achieve, like to reach. And it's
we're gonna get to the point where people are getting 200 mil all and are not even on the front page. Like you get 200 mil all and you're rank 34 or something. But that's still a huge accomplishment. You played the medieval children's game for 16,000 efficient hours, and you probably played it for a lot more actual hours. So
for sure.
I mean, I don't know. It's a huge accomplishment for anyone that few will get.
For sure. And we're like so far away from that too. Like 30 people. Our top page won't even be filled up for like another 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
And we're about to see like a bunch more people finish this year or like start of next year.
Sorry to cut you off, Jay.
Yeah, I also think that it has to do with a lot of people transitioning over like the time they spend on getting those 9k EHP in their like actual lives. So maybe their situation changed completely. Maybe they like finished school or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like comes to a point, where they are have a girlfriend now and a job, and maybe I don't want to play this game anymore for 10 hours every day or something.
For sure.
So yeah.
IRL is definitely a huge factor.
Plus, like when you get all those obligations, your time till 200 mil all, in terms of actual time, goes from, whatever you did in the first half to maybe double that or 50% more because you have less time. So it's like, shit, I'm still really far away.
So you don't even feel the progress anymore, even if you like put the same effort in, but it doesn't get you as far. Yeah.
It would still take you like 3 or 4 years if you're doing like 40, 50 weeks with a job, stuff like that. Like everybody's real life situation has changed. Like nobody's in the same situation that they were like 5 years ago when they started playing.
For sure.
People grow up, things change.
And it's just it's the fact that it's like 15k HP, which is probably like 20k or more actual hours. It's just a lot.
For sure.
Okay. Let's see. What changes do you think Jagex can do to the current polling system to improve it? I know Rob touched on this a little bit, but...
Wait, what was the question?
Basically, what changes do you think Jagex should make with the polling system to improve it? Like you mentioned a Discord, which I think would be cool.
I do think a Discord with like the high level community of both the skilling community and the PVM community would be good to start off, to discuss updates with them and get actually good quality feedback with them. I also think being more transparent about the rates instead of just launching one dev blog and then people say a few good things and then they fucking pull it, where there's like maybe 2 or 3 edits to the pull blog with actual XP rates, and then there's feedback on the XP rates would be nice before, instead of just one blog and done.
I think the first person to open up the poll box should get to vote, and then the poll box is closed, so just that person gets the vote.
Honestly, I agree with that.
That's
a huge brain idea, man. I think. Sorry, Vanus, continue your point.
That's it. That's my big brain idea. That's it.
I think another big problem I have with the polling system is just the people with actually like brains are completely outnumbered by the people with no brains that don't even like read the blogs. They just see, ooh, numbers high, I vote yes.
I guess it's kind of a hard balance between like what qualifies you as deserving of a vote, because as I said before with like the PvP thing, a lot of people vote for themselves, which fair enough, but like how do you say like, oh, you've earned your right to contribute to this game? Is it a certain amount of in-game time? Is it a total level? Is it a certain amount of time done doing an activity? Does Jagex have to break it up into like skilling polls, PVM polls, PvP polls, and you have to be like qualified?
Right.
Yeah, and then thing is also like multiple things branch into like different parts of the skill.
Yeah.
Like
if you don't get to vote on a poll, most people don't go, oh, well, that's well deserved, I guess I'm not qualified enough. They cry because they don't. It doesn't include,
because they're paying $11 a month as well, or whatever.
Yeah, And
I feel like unless you do some drastic changes to the poll, it's just going to be the same. Like, you take some subset of the current voter base and then make that the voter base, it's going to be the same outcome. Like, I don't think there's really any changes you can do unless you make it drastic, as in only 10% or like a few people can vote.
I think isn't it just like, don't you have to have 200 total level and like a certain amount of time played to vote?
I think it's 250 total level and like a certain amount of hours.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That's just like extremely low.
If you bumped it up to 1500, I don't think there would be anything that changes in terms of what passes and what doesn't.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, but I can see why you say that.
You would also then upset a bunch of sub 1500 total people that are then going to cry, even though they play 6 hours a week.
No,
the average is like 12. The average total level is like 1200 or some shit like that.
And that's with like 50,
but obviously that's skewed
max.
because of the bots. But yeah, I think 1500 would be good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most people with like our Daeyalts and like PVM alts are higher than fucking 1500.
Yeah, but like there's so many more like bots that are like level 3s that bring that average down.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't even think of a single like 1500 total level player that would vote or even know that voting's a thing. Like, I don't think noobs know.
Or vote consistently enough.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
They shouldn't vote then.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is making requirements wouldn't really change it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't think it would
that's
decrease
also-
the number of people voting by that.
Mm.
I think also there's a certain like bias to this question.
I see what you're
like,
saying, Bears.
Like, how can we make the voting system less in favor of like the idiots?
Yeah.
And there's not really much you can do because Jagex want to appeal to the people that pay the bills, and most high level people are bonding accounts. Like they're not really spending hella money, but your average person pays the $15 membership and like buys bonds to get bandos and all that kind of stuff, and they want those people playing, so they want those people to have like the most positive like time possible playing the game. And if making them feel powerful and like they're in control of the game is how they do that, then Jagex are going to do that, even if it costs them.
I mean, as they should. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. But I do wish that we had like some Discord or whatever that we could just talk to them about it.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be. Didn't they used to do that back in the day? Like there was a high level forum or whatever.
Yeah, you have to request access to it, but a lot of people have access to it and they don't look at it anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been different iterations of that where different mods have tried to get in touch with different communities, and it works for a time, but then, they either move on to other projects or leave Jagex, or they get flamed by the people who don't know how to express their opinions or dissatisfaction calmly, and then they're like, well, I don't really want to interact with them anymore because the Twitter guy made fun of me for the 18th time today.
Yeah, I guess the HOC sort of
it's pretty.
what we saw.
It is kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Which is a vicious cycle, because then when they listen less, the Twitter nerds flame more, and so then I don't know.
Then they're just like, fuck it, we're just not going to listen to the Twitter nerds.
Fuck it, updates on floor, man. Like,
it's funny.
Agility's 400k now.
It's funny how the PvPers want updates and can't get them, and then we don't want updates and we're getting them.
Yeah.
I suppose that appeals to the fact that more low-level players have to skill versus having no obligation to PvP.
Yep.
Achievement diaries were a mistake.
Yep, and they just
Agreed.
want the game
Okay,
easier.
points.
And I don't think the max cape. I mean, I don't personally think it was a good thing, but it's super OP.
I would say skill
I
cape
think it was fine until they introduced skip cape perks.
Yeah, the perks are pretty OP. Some of them.
Then it made the cape a lot more desirable, which in turn made more people want to max, which then they wanted easier methods.
Yeah. All right.
Haha, crafting cape go burr.
God, I love that cape.
This question this question makes me laugh. Why do you think the HLC has such a distaste for the Iron Man community?
No, we Don't free Slayer worlds.
I can only name like 4 Ironmen. I have no opinion of the Ironman community.
I only know Rob and Guardy.
I guess you've never done
they're
Slayer
nice.
Virus.
That's true.
Yeah, they're very entertaining during Slayer.
But are we talking about like the high level Iron Man community? Or
I think just in
like,
general.
Iron Man? Oh, because I think it's a funny meme.
Well, it's just funny because they're like super entitled just because they're an Iron Man, and then they get upset when you crash them at some place where there's limited number of spots and there's 150k people online.
I mean, I can kind of empathize with them. I don't think they're thinking like, oh, there aren't a lot of spots left. I just think they're mad that you took the spot they have.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah. I
Survival
understand
of
8
the
points.
trade.
I don't know if it's necessarily entitled, but
I think it's also because
I
like
don't know.
we Iron Men play like a quote
Did we
unquote.
say you could speak Iron Man?
I live in a country with freedom of speech, man.
I thought you were gonna say you live in a cage, and I was like,
But it's like we play a quote unquote harder game mode, but yet a lot of Iron Men, especially the normie community, look for ways to make the game mode a lot easier, which is kind of goes against the spirit of Iron Man mode.
can you bank?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Easy
That's
game.
pretty
mode.
easy.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
I have to have a
You
bank,
can
man.
die as well.
Cringe.
Like, what the hell? I don't think it's so much a we hit Iron Man thing. I mean, at least regarding Slayer, like I'd crash like a 1500 total newbies, like a mana crunch as well. Like it doesn't
Yeah, but you
matter.
hate those as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't hate them. I just want the world more
Yeah.
than they do.
I think we just make fun of them and then they see it as like we don't like them because they say dumb shit.
God, yeah, they say words, man. They be typing.
Like I have
really
galleries
do,
of death threats and all that shit from Iron Man.
Oh, victim.
It's so funny, man.
It really is.
It's funny, man.
They pretend to play a single player mode game and then they speak to you. What the hell? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you stand alone, man.
Yeah.
That means you wallow in the sadness of being alone.
Stand alone, but we abuse alts and everything that we can.
I mean, Jagex doesn't do anything about it, so you may as well.
Yep.
Yeah, games of competition, etc., etc.
And abuse it till it gets nerfed.
They tried to nerf it and that didn't really work, so they kind of just gave up.
Yeah, they tried one thing and then people fixed it within like 2
Yeah.
days.
All right. Second to last question. Do you guys think we will get a new skill eventually? If yes, when and what would you like to see?
eventually, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
when?
kind of inevitable.
They could just pop up with one tomorrow and it passes and it works. But I've been saying this forever. I really want sailing, but it's like kind of like dungeoneering where you and the boys get on a boat and sail to some island and like explore the island and maybe fight a boss or something. I think that would be really cool.
I loved dungeoneering like when I was like a noob at the game. Like it was really fun to like play dungeons and just like fuck around with your friends and stuff. But as soon as you get dungeoneering, the efficient method is not going to be the fun exploration method. So like I kind of want dungeoneering, but I know that it's
See, I think I disagree. I think I think that would be good for the high level community if the meta was you needed people, and then like doing dungeoneering with the boys and TS would be a lot of fun. Or
that would be
some
that would be
variant
fun.
of it if it was sailing or whatever. But yeah, I haven't been too impressed with the ones they've pulled so far, but I doubt anyone in the high level has.
If they suggest a skill that isn't complete dog shit, then I think we will get one. But based off the past ones, I don't think we will be.
Yeah, but like, what would it be? That's the question.
They're gonna have to pull something out of their ass, man.
It'd have to be something that we've never really seen before, which I think is really hard.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it when RS3 came out with divination. They were really scraping the bottom of the barrel there, like in terms of trying to come up with an interesting skill because all the skills have already been accounted for. So
I think
I'm not
I
saying
think
divination is good or bad. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
the actual what the skill is
Uh-huh.
really hard to come up with given the skills we have right now.
I think the problem also is like, so a lot of people, I guess HOC want an interesting skill, right? And let's be honest, the more interesting skills are not buyables often.
Yes.
And like adding a new buyable is pretty easy because you're just like, oh, you make this resource, who cares? It's 400k an hour.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like coming up with an interesting skill or like a gatherer, it's kind of hard because like you can pretty much gather most resources with the gatherers, like most realistic resources in a medieval setting. You can mine ores, you can cut trees, you can fish, you can hunt. Like they have to get more creative to actually come up with like an interesting skill. And like rune crafting, I think, is like a cool, useful skill, and that's obviously what like people use an example for as to why warding was stupid. But I have to say, like they definitely have to think outside the box if they want an actual interesting.
Definitely think, and they probably won't, but I definitely think it's a good idea for them to prioritize the method and like how you train the skill over what the skill is. Like the skill could just be named blue, but if the method doing it is interesting, then I don't give a fuck. Like I actually think most of the player base wouldn't either if it was a fun enjoyable way to train it, at least as fun as it can be for the medieval point and click game.
Didn't Anger say that the new skill on RS3 is like a gathering skill?
Yeah, there's a couple things about that. Like, obviously I like RS3 too, and you guys might not have as much experience with it. But they've added, like the last two skills they've added are actually pretty good. Like, Invention's really cool. Archaeology's cool. It's a gatherer and a buyable, which at first I was like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make sense. But like, there's a gathering part of it, and then there's like a buyable part of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you guys would feel about something like that, where there's like an AFK like gathering part, and then there's like a buyable part where you go do that.
I mean, I'm interested in a more complex skill, but I don't trust Jagex to pull it off. Like the more complex the skill gets, the more room for error.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, if they copy pasted something like Invention and toned down some of the rewards, I think that would be really good for the game, because it would pretty much remove like a shitload of junk from the game. It would make prices of PVM gear go up, which is a good thing for the normies. Not so much for us. You don't want to pay like 1 bill for your Scythe for Slayer, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool things they could do.
Side question: do you think stealing updates from RS3 is a bad thing?
I think stealing good updates from RS3 is fine.
Yeah, as long as they
As
do
long
it
as it's
right
good
and make
update.
it like old school feel, then it's
Yeah.
fine.
No, I agree.
They've done it quite a lot. Like, they did it with pets. They
Yeah.
did it with... like, there's so many things I've seen. I'll be like, oh, they just put that on RS3 like a week ago. Oh, now we have it on old school. Oh, cool. Like, it happens quite a lot, more than you would ever really think about.
Yeah.
Like
I
I'm
guess
Zol-
glad
it's
they
more-
did.
More Reddit complains that things are taken from RS3. Maybe I don't know. I don't really go on Reddit anymore, but yeah, I'm definitely for them taking the good parts of RS3. I don't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And making good, better versions of RS3 content. Like personally, I don't really like the way that RS3 has like guaranteed pets. If I'm not like that's true, right, Anger?
It's not guaranteed, but it's like if you're 200 mil, the chance goes up.
I thought I was under the impression that like you would guarantee the pet by like a certain rate.
They have like pet thresholds for PVM, so if the drop rate's like 1 in 5k, and you hit 5k without getting the pet, then your chance will be increased to get the pet.
Oh, okay, right.
It just means that like you don't go really unlucky.
That's fair.
Like,
I was on
I
the
think
okay.
that's okay. Like, that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I don't have a
never
problem with
mind.
that.
I was gonna say never mind what I was gonna say then. Just forget it.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. I don't
It's like a
think that's how it works.
threshold system, right?
Yeah. Runespan content. Yeah, I like that.
I think honestly at this point, people probably wouldn't even fight the rune span because they're like, God, RC is just
Yeah.
It will
ruined.
pass. For
And the
sure.
normies would love it.
Yeah, they would.
How fast was it back in the day?
100 rune span, or
Yeah, RuneSpan.
it's like 100, 110 when it came out.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
bring it on, bro.
Alright,
At the same
kudos for
time,
getting there.
at the same time, it would take a lot away from the players that like grinded their way and did the expensive RC method.
Don't care.
So
Yeah, sound the broke alarm, man.
exact. I mean,
You saying that to
people
me,
that
man?
want
What
it.
the-
No, I'm saying that to kudos.
I'm not a huge fan of the argument.
so I don't know how I
of, like,
feel about it.
of the devaluing argument of like, oh, it ruins the people that got the achievements. Like, I think if it's a good method that takes over or at least replaces a bad method, then I think it's good. And it's just on you for not like guessing how Jagex updates would go.
Jebra and Method Man do the easy skills first, assume they'll ruin the harder skills later.
Yeah,
But
No.
I mean, they also still achieved that. Like their achievement didn't disappear.
that's true.
I mean,
Yeah,
that is
it's-
macro efficiency in a nutshell.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
It maybe doesn't stand the test of time in terms of people aren't going to look it up and go, well, they definitely did solar lavas. But in the time frame they did it, and the people that they did it in front of, they will always be like, oh, man, Lynx and Sens did, and and Panda
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
whatever, like
Yes.
200 RC straight through
We'll
solar
always
lavas.
have their
Yeah, for sure.
sorry. Like they will always have their good ranks by like doing the harder methods because they did it earlier with that.
Yeah. I don't know. RC is kind of just like the final boss, And if they take that away, I don't know what else is the hardest thing.
The hardest thing is playing the game for 15,000 hours.
Yeah. But I feel like that's like the black dog like on people's backs.
I think
Affording
also,
RC.
like not having to afford RC would probably make sure that more people got to the 15k hour goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the cost
Exactly.
of tournament all has like doubled just because of one skill.
Yep.
Like, imagine how much more people are gonna maybe like, if people really hate money making alts or whatever, then they might be like, oh well, now I don't have to play, Agi and 20 alts. Oh, maybe I'll try swimming then because suddenly I only have to make 12 bill and I've already actually made that. Or
Yeah.
maybe I feel the luxury to do X other method because I don't have a 30 bill debt hanging over my head that I'm going to have to figure out how to deal with. Like
Right.
it definitely, it opens up the skill to being more realistic for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people get to that point where they're like, well, I can't afford RC, so I'm just going to quit because I can't get tournament all, or just kind of push it to the back and go, well, whatever, I guess I'll just do this and then never actually achieve tournament all or whatever.
Well,
And,
it's like they still can. It's just not going to be app, They'll just get like
yeah,
0.5 or whatever doing solo.
but yeah, I definitely think changing that meta could be maybe better for people in general. It might make that goal more realistic. And people argue, oh well, part of the challenge of the game is being able to figure out how to make all that money.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of an elitist thing, but yeah, it definitely
Yeah,
is like a
well-
big factor. For most people, they're just like, give me fucking fast RC. They don't really give a shit.
I suppose it would also be like,
More branded
yeah.
RC.
Yeah. I don't see them doing that though, honestly. I think most people are pretty content with Zaya, and I think the Daeyalt, it could be good, but not like RuneSpan good, In terms of
yeah,
It's not
AFK.
as good as Lavas. Like Lavas with runners, I mean.
Yeah. It wouldn't be. But it would make it like a lot easier for people to just cop out and do that, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Which would obviously make it more people get 200 mil.
But I mean, again, Jagex aren't going to balance content around terminal.
No. And they should never. I don't think they should. All right, this is my last question. Where do you guys hope to be a year from now, RS and IRL?
I don't know RS wise. That really depends a lot on the more IRL part. The dream would to be a researcher at like a university somewhere, maybe in like the Netherlands or one of those countries, or somewhere in Australia. But I guess RS depends on how viable it is with the lifestyle there.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to still be playing the game, because if I never stop playing the game, I'll get 200 mil all eventually, and that's just my mindset. So, IRL, I don't know. I'd have a job.
Yeah, I would like to be finished with school in a year, and RuneScape-wise, I'm the same as Virus. I would just to like be still playing. That's my goal, I guess.
Actually, I want to update mine. I want to still be playing and still be ahead of Tim.
Oh, Tim's got the money now.
Yeah, I'd like to still be playing the game, and after all this Corona shit's over, get a house, stuff like that. Get a real job.
I thought you were tired, bro.
Tired? Well, retired? Oh.
Yeah. No. Like retired.
Yeah. No, like a real job would be cool. With my degree. Like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like no
Oh,
crap.
sorry. Actually, I have to add something.
Yeah, go
I would
ahead.
like to be still playing RS so that I can force everyone in TS to call me Dr. Spangle.
Oh, that'd be pog. Yeah,
You
for
guys should start doing that.
Sorry?
We could both do that. Let's go.
Yeah, that'd be epic.
yeah, I want to be playing in a year. Hopefully, like I want to hopefully try to get 200 mil. All. Don't know where I'll fall on the high scores, but
16.
Bitch, baby. Let's go.
16. And yeah, in terms of IRL, I want to transfer and continue to work for my degree and get that shit done as soon as possible.
As for me, I still see myself playing the game because I don't see myself like not enjoying the game anytime soon. But then again, that could change whenever. As for IRL, I'll probably be doing more things outside and trying to spend a little bit less time on the game to kind of take care of physical and mental health. Probably force myself to get back into school and work on getting internships for a career.
Nice.
Do we miss anyone?
Jay?
I said
I
mine.
think he
JC
did.
was-
I think everyone talked.
Come on, Anger.
Jay said he wants to start the 5K year.
Yes.
Whoa.
Starting tomorrow.
Epic.
Starting tomorrow. All right.
Yeah. Let's go.
How many
Alright, let's
hours
go.
did you say was in a year, Spangle?
About 800 and 8,700, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm gonna do. That's the goal.
8,700 year, baby.
Any parseckers?
Yeah. Downloading Parsec right now.
On an unrelated note, if anyone wants to play my account, shoot me a DM.
I know a guy. What?
Dude,
Small
I'm
thing.
sure Dean can edit that part out of their podcast.
We've been going for like an hour and a half. I don't know if you guys had any more questions or what, but we can end it here or we can keep going.
One
Let's start
question from the chat.
questions.
Yeah, we could take a question from the hashtag the chat if there's any.
Hashtag the chat.
Any questioners in the chat?
Any gifters?
Yeah, any gifters? Feel free to hit that Twitch Prime button.
All right, kudos, come on, man.
Neat.
Selling out again.
Quit begging me.
Oh shit.
He's not a member of Omnia.
Thoughts on G?
What did GT say?
Who's the
He
best-
said-
Who's the best Omnia Smiley, and why is it Brent?
He's not a member.
Who is
What
the
do
next?
you? What are things you do to entertain yourself while playing long hours? Was asked.
Play a lot of alts. That's me. That's me.
Either talk to the boys on TS or Discord or see big anime titties.
That's a
mean-
based answer.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you
dude.
guys have this, but like I have this long list of content to like podcasts and shows to watch and stuff, and I like struggle to motivate myself to start a new thing. And then I just end up in TS all day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I love talking to
Yeah,
the
same.
boys. Like,
That
that's-
motivates
that's
me more than anything.
It
one of
definitely
the
does
best
make the
parts
time
of this
fly.
game. like
For
chatting
sure.
to the boys.
Get a group of friends and just talk with them if you want to do long hours.
Who's the next burnout in the top 50 EHP?
What's the qualifications for that? Like, how low of a week do they have to be on, or what disqualified
Are
them?
we talking like flatlining?
I don't know.
Make the question whatever you want it to be.
Below a 20.
I think it's karma.
Come on, man.
Hey, no, that's not true. He's doing really well on RS3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
is
he's
he
gonna
is he
burn
not
out.
cooking yet?
I give Karma 2
He's
weeks.
questing. No, he's
Oh,
getting
nice,
to
nice.
normal all. He's,
Where's he get all this
I
money
believe
from?
it's the bank of Anger swaps.
Elf.com.
What?
I mean, to be honest, I think Karma can get terminal on RS3. Like, it's a lot easier and less hours than old school.
Oh, that's
and
a good
AFK.
question. If you could use all the hours you spent on RS on one real life skill, what would you choose?
Ooh.
Penis
Chess.
extending.
For me, it's
Um,
probably like art, like being able to draw like really well or something like
Mhm.
that.
That's cool. Yeah, I think playing an instrument would be pretty epic, and being like a professional musician.
To be honest, there's definitely a few things in life that I sort of prioritize less in order to play more at times. That I definitely would put time back into if I wasn't. Probably like singing.
Mhm.
I mean, I've been getting back more into cooking, being stuck inside way more. So there's that. But I don't know. Yeah,
For
just
me,
hobbies.
my bad.
I'm done.
Oh, for me, it'd either be playing the piano or coding.
I mean, it's hard because like it'd be a lot harder to put those hours into something else because like you have to be more
Yeah.
attentive to whatever you're doing for that many hours. Whereas RuneScape, you can be a little brain dead while playing, or you just like get into the flow more.
Yeah.
I
For
mean, a lot of
me,
my
It would
Oh,
be
sorry.
a lot of like my different hobbies. I think the big one would be poker. Like I wish I had the mental fortitude to spend 10k hours playing poker and then just be a degen poker neat.
Shout out to
Because it's-
Avatar Evan.
Yeah, RuneScape or poker is a lot like RuneScape in terms of like grinding, but instead of consistent progress and you can never go backwards, you can go backwards in poker even if you do everything right. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, a lot of my real life friends have actually started doing poker, and they're taking it quite seriously. So I know what you mean about like the grind on that. I'd probably continue learning guitar if I didn't take RuneScape so seriously.
So what you're saying is, if we all burn out right now, we have a band. By the
Yeah.
sounds of it.
I'm getting my minor in guitar,
Let's
That's
go.
cool.
but I think we've got too many guitar players.
I sing.
That's not a problem.
I'd be a violinist, so you know.
Anger, I feel like you're more of a drummer.
Think so? I mean,
Really?
I can switch it up for the boys, you know.
Or you could just hop on the bass.
Yeah, I could do.
Guardy asked,
Play triangle.
what is the next skill beyond runecrafting that you foresee being devalued?
Fishing and hunter together.
I think the easy answer is agility, just because we know that
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah. All of them.
Slayer further, probably.
Agility's a cop-out answer.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if Slayer will get faster, dude. But
Like, what the fuck could they add
I
a
don't know,
Slayer to
man.
make it even more fucked?
I feel like
I
if
will
anything,
say-
it'll get slower. But
People.
There's a lot of
people
Redditors
said that
crying about
before,
Slayer,
though.
man.
Like, I think you could go back to any point in history, and people would be like, what would they add to Slayer though?
no,
Like,
I know Vires, but this time it's serious. Okay.
yeah. This
Yeah,
time,
but they
though.
said that
This
every other
time.
time.
Cannons and melee
Like,
Slayer. How could they ever
what?
make it quicker?
Razor Beast saying nothing in the catacombs is efficient.
I mean, that's still true.
Oh, that
I
is.
guess we can make where
technically
everything's-
speaking. If
everything's-
you know the giant brain method, that is
Yeah,
still
exactly.
true.
Do we want to wrap it here?
Whatever you guys want. I don't give a shit.
Unless there's any burning questions from the chat.
Let's see. Best skill in game, mining.
fishing.
Archaeology?
Yikes.
What the fuck?
Anyways.
I don't think that's
Um,
in the game.
It's in the other game.
I'm
Fishing.
I'm liking farming a
Hunter
lot
if
on the Iron Man.
It's red chins.
Hunter if it's red. Yeah, I think I'm good with that.
Cool.
Solid podcast. If you guys want to do any shout outs
Wait,
before I
what
end
about
it.
Got Tormentor's question, or we didn't know how to
Oh.
answer.
Hmm.
I don't
I
know.
could talk a lot about that, but I
we've
don't know if you guys
we've
all
talked
want to.
about it on the previous podcast, so that's why I didn't pick it out as a question.
Gotcha.
I think an hour 40 is probably good to call it here. Not make it too lengthy.
Yeah,
sure.
man, I gotta go back to sleep, man. It's 7
Oh yeah, Spangle woke up at what, like
Holy
3 a.m.
shit.
for this?
Just before 5.
Shout out to Spangletown for making it work.
ZZ.
Oh yeah. Any shout outs you guys want to do?
Shout out to my boys at Fan of Rules. We're the next up and coming social clan. Watch out.
I'm gonna say a certain word in the chat right now.
Shout out to Hey Guardy. Welcome to Omnia.
Oh yeah, welcome Guardy.
Oh,
Great tweet, yeah.
Let's go,
Holy
Gardy.
shit.
Shout out to Gamer. Oh my god. Shout out
Nice.
to Gamers Discord if anybody in there is still watching.
I
Are
don't
you
even
really
know
not
what-
anger swaps?
I don't know. I feel like that's a bit too much.
Ah,
Swap with anger swaps?
use
Oh,
code
no.
Spangle for 20%
There you go.
off.
Yeah, can I get a discount code to give to people?
Sure.
Can I just get money?
Shout out to
Sure.
shout out to
Thank
the
you.
Mauritania MTFs.
Oh yeah,
The
retweet.
Hell
future
yeah.
is female.
There's only 4 of them on here, so you know.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Only 4.
Yeah, we couldn't get the full sweep.
And where's
Ro-
Mitch?
Sorry, yeah. Shout out to Cooper Capes. Code Rockford for 15% off.
Any power sectors?
All right, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good rest of your day. Peace.